Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! Hi. When my friend Jennifer and I decided to stay at an Airbnb in Grand Rapids after attending a musical festival in Michigan, we were both exhausted and looking forward to a good night's rest before our flights the next day. Jennifer had booked the place under her name. It was a bit odd for an Airbnb, to be honest, and we were staying in a suburban family home with the owners still living there. They were renting out an upstairs bedroom connected to a bathroom. Not exactly the privacy I was expecting, but hey, it was just for one night. We arrived in the late afternoon, both of us feeling grimy from the festival. Jennifer says, "I'm gonna hop in the shower real quick. That okay with you?" "Yeah, go ahead. I'll take mine after you." After we both showered, we crashed early. Jennifer had an early flight, so she left around 4 a.m. while I was still sleeping. I woke around 9:30 feeling refreshed and ready for my own flight. I decided to take another quick shower before heading out. The bathroom looked fine to me, and I made sure to keep the shower curtain closed the whole time. When I finished, I realized the towels were on the other side of the bathroom. I had to step out dripping wet to grab one. I didn't think much of it at the time. I dried off, got dressed, and left for the airport. Everything seemed normal. The hosts were in the kitchen as I walked out, and they smiled and waved goodbye. I thought that was the end of it. A few hours later, as I was waiting for my connecting flight, my phone buzzed. It was a text from Jennifer. She asks, "Hey, did something happen in the bathroom this morning?" "Not that I know of. Why?" The Airbnb owner just texted me asking what happened and why there was so much water on the bathroom floor. I was confused. I didn't remember seeing any significant amount of water on the floor. That's weird. I didn't notice anything unusual. The shower curtain was closed the whole time. Maybe a little water got on the floor when I stepped out to get the towel. Okay, I'll let them know that. I thought that would be the end of it, but boy, was I wrong. The next day, Jennifer sent me some screenshots that made my jaw drop. "You're not gonna believe this. Look what the owner sent me." The screenshots showed a claim the owner had filed with Airbnb for $8,371. Apparently, this was a quote from a contractor for new baseboards and ceiling drywall in the kitchen directly below the bathroom. And get this, it didn't even include the $150 for a plumber to confirm there was nothing wrong with the plumbing. What the hell? That's insane. There is no way there was that much water. How could it even soak through like that? Jennifer says, "I don't know. It sounds fishy to me too." The bathroom was all tile. How could water get through that and damage the kitchen ceiling? Maybe they are trying to scam us. It has to be. This is ridiculous. I was fuming. How could they possibly think we believe this? I decided to do some research and reached out to a local contractor in Grand Rapids. He says, "Based on what you're describing, that quote seems extremely high. Water damage that severe would require a significant amount of standing water for an extended period. It's unlikely that a quick shower could cause that kind of damage, especially in a tiled bathroom." This confirmed my suspicions. Something wasn't adding up. I decided to contact Airbnb directly to dispute the claim. Airbnb support, thank you for bringing this to our attention. We take these matters seriously and will investigate the claim thoroughly. Over the next few days, I gathered as much information as I could. I asked Jennifer to send me pictures of the bathroom from when we checked in, which thankfully she had taken. I also requested that Airbnb ask for proof of the damage and the contractor's detailed assessment. A week later, Airbnb got back to me with some surprising news. After a thorough investigation, we found some inconsistencies in the host's claim. The contractor they initially quoted has denied providing such a high estimate for the described damage. Additionally, we've received reports from previous guests who stayed in the same room mentioning pre-existing water damage in the kitchen ceiling. I felt a wave of relief wash over me. So I asked, "So what happens now?" "We're denying the host's claim and have issued them a warning for attempting to file a fraudulent claim. We've also refunded your stay as a gesture of goodwill for the inconvenience that this has caused you." I couldn't believe it. Not only were we off the hook, but we got our money back too. I immediately texted Jennifer to share the good news. You're not gonna believe this. Airbnb denied their claim. No way, what happened? I filled her in on all the details. We were both relieved and a bit angry that the hosts had tried to scam us like that. I can't believe they thought they'd get away with it. I know, right? It's crazy what some people will try. In the end, what started as a simple post-festival stay turned into a weeks-long ordeal. But it taught me some things. Always document your stays, be wary of unusual Airbnb setups, and don't be afraid to stand up for yourself when something doesn't seem right. As for the hosts, I hope they learned their lesson. Trying to scam guests is not only unethical, but also a quick way to get banned from Airbnb. I'm just glad we didn't have to pay for their attempted renovation at our expense. The next time I travel, you can bet I'll be a lot more cautious about where I stay. And maybe, just maybe, I'll stick to hotels for a while. At least there I won't have to worry about being blamed for imaginary water damage after taking a simple shower. Let me tell you about the scariest moment of my life. It was a hot Saturday and my husband Robert and I decided to take our 7-year-old son Caleb to the local pool. Caleb loves swimming and he was so excited. We found a spot to set up our things and Caleb jumped right in. He was having a great time, splashing around and playing. I was watching him from my lounge chair, smiling at how much fun he was having. And that's when I noticed this woman giving Caleb dirty looks. She was sitting on the edge of the pool, her feet dangling in the water. She looked annoyed every time Caleb splashed near her. After a while, I heard her yell at Caleb, "Hey kid, stop splashing so much. You're getting my hair wet." Caleb looked confused. He was just swimming and playing like any kid would. Sorry, I'm just swimming." "Well, swim without splashing. Or better yet, get out of the pool. Kids like you shouldn't even be here." I was shocked. Who talks to a child like that? But before I could even say anything, she said something that made my blood boil. "You little racial slur. Get out of my sight." Caleb's face fell. He looked hurt and confused, but then something changed in his expression. He got this mischievous look in his eyes. "Sorry, I can't hear you. My ears are full of water. Maybe I need to splash more to get it out." And with that, he started splashing even more, laughing as he did it. I couldn't help but smile. That's my boy, I thought, standing up for himself in his own way. But then everything went wrong so fast. The woman's face turned red with anger. She suddenly lunged at Caleb, grabbing his arm. Before I could even process what was happening, she was trying to push his head under the water with her other hand. "You like that, you little crap? Huh? Is this fun for you?" I froze for a split second, not believing what I was seeing. Then I screamed, "Robert, help! She's trying to drown Caleb!" Robert was already moving. He dove into the pool and swam faster than I've ever seen him swim. He reached Caleb and tried to pull him away from the woman, but she wouldn't let go. She kept trying to push Caleb's head down, even as Robert fought to keep him above water. I didn't even think. I just jumped into the pool, clothes and all. I swam to them and started hitting the woman, trying to make her let go of my son. I even bit her arm at one point. I did not care. I just wanted her away from Caleb. "Let go of my son, you crazy witch." "He deserved it. Little brat needs to learn respect." But this time, other people had noticed what was happening. The lifeguard was blowing his whistle and swimming over. Some other adults in the pool came to help. Together, we managed to pry the woman's hands off Caleb. Robert pulled Caleb away while I kept hitting the woman. The lifeguard and another man grabbed her and started dragging her out of the pool. She was kicking and screaming the whole time. "You can't do this to me. That brat deserved it. I want to speak to the manager." As soon as we got out of the pool, I ran to Caleb. He was coughing and crying, clearly in shock. Robert was holding him, trying to calm him down. "It's okay, buddy. You're safe now. We've got you." The pool staff had called 911 and soon the place was swarming with police and paramedics. The security guards were holding the woman, who was still yelling and trying to justify what she did. The paramedics checked Caleb over. They were concerned about how much water he might have swallowed and possibility of secondary drowning. They decided it was best to take him to the hospital for observation. We rode in the ambulance with Caleb. I held his hand the whole way, trying not to cry. At the hospital, they ran some tests and decided to keep him for 2 days. But doctors explained that they were worried about pulmonary edema, which is when fluid builds up in the lungs. They also wanted to monitor him for any signs of pneumonia or other complications that can happen after a near-drowning experience. Those 2 days in the hospital were the longest of my life. Caleb was scared and confused. He kept asking why the lady had tried to hurt him. I mean, how do you explain something like that to a 7-year-old? We just told him that sometimes people do bad things, but that he was safe now and we wouldn't let anyone hurt him. While we were at the hospital, we got updates from the police. They had arrested the woman right at the pool. She was facing some serious charges: attempted murder of a child, aggravated assault, hate crime charges because of the racial slur she used, and the list went on. They said she could be looking at years in prison. It turned out she had a history of confrontations and complaints against her at various public places. Always demanding to speak to managers, always feeling entitled to control how other people behaved in public spaces. But this was the first time she had gotten violent, especially with a child. Caleb recovered physically pretty quickly, but I could tell the incident had affected him emotionally. He was more hesitant, less carefree. It broke my heart to see my happy, energetic boy so subdued. We decided to get him into therapy to help him process what happened. It's been helping, but it's a slow process. He's starting to smile more, to laugh like he used to, but he's still nervous around water, which used to be his favorite thing. As for Karen, her trial is coming up soon. We're dreading having to relive that day in court, but we're determined to see justice done. Prosecutor says the case is strong with multiple witnesses and even video footage from people's phones. Looking back, I still can't believe it happened. 1 minute we were having a fun family day, and the next I was fighting to save my son from a stranger trying to drown him. All because he was splashing in a public pool and stood up for himself when she insulted him. I've learned to be more vigilant, to keep always an eye out for potential threats. But I've also learned how strong we can be when protecting our loved ones. Robert and I did not hesitate to jump in and fight for Caleb, and I know we'd do it again in a heartbeat. We're taking things day by day now, trying to help Caleb feel safe again, trying to get back to normal. It's not easy, but we're getting there. And we're grateful every day that we were able to save our son from that entitled racist woman who thought she had the right to hurt the child for annoying her. I hope sharing our story helps others realize how dangerous entitlement can be and how important it is to stand up against it. No one has a right to harm others, especially not children, no matter how annoyed or inconvenienced they feel. And I hope it reminds parents to always stay alert, even in places that should be safe, like a public pool on a sunny Saturday afternoon. Growing up in a small town in Georgia, I always figured families stuck together no matter what. But nope. From as far back as I can remember, my parents were always going on about how I needed to be independent. My dad, he'd sit at the dinner table pointing his fork at me and say, "Listen here, boy. The day after you turn 18, don't think you're gonna be living in this house for free. You better have a job lined up or be ready to pay rent." My mom wasn't much different. She'd chime in with, "That's right. We're not running a charity here. You need to learn the value of hard work." Now, don't get me wrong, I understand the importance of working hard and being reasonable. But the way they went about it, it was like they couldn't wait to kick me out. As I got older, things only got worse. My parents split up when I was 15. Dad lost his job at the factory and started drinking. And Mom threw herself into her business, working all hours of the day and night. I was left to fend for myself most of the time. The day after my 18th birthday, true to their word, they sat me down. Dad says, "So son, you're 18 now. Time to start paying your way." "Dad, I'm still in high school. I don't have a full-time job yet." "That's not our problem. You've known this was coming. Figure it out or find somewhere else to live." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My own parents ready to throw me out on the street if I couldn't come up with rent money. I managed to scrape by, working part-time at the local grocery store after school and on weekends. It was tough, but I made it work until I graduated. As soon as I could, I moved out and got my own place. It wasn't much, just a tiny studio apartment, but it was mine. I worked my butt off, put myself through community college, and eventually landed a decent job in IT. Meanwhile, my parents' lives took very different turns. Mom's business took off and she became quite successful. She bought a big house, fancy cars, and the works. Dad, on the other hand, hit rock bottom. He lost his house, his car, and everything. And that's when the tables turned. Suddenly, Dad was calling me all the time asking for money or a place to stay. Hey son, I'm in a bit of a tight spot. Think I could crash at your place for a few days? Dad, I'm sorry, but no. I can't have you staying here. Come on, I'm your father. You can't just leave me out on the street. I am not leaving you out on the street. There are shelters and programs that can help you, but I can't let you live here. This is how you treat your old man? After everything I've done for you? Everything you've done for me? You mean like kicking me out as soon as I turned 18? That was different. We were teaching you responsibility. Well, consider this a lesson in responsibility, Dad. You made your choices. Now you have to live with them. It might sound harsh, but I couldn't let him move in. I knew if I did, he'd never leave. He'd drink all day, never look for work, and I'd be stuck supporting him forever. I worked too hard to get where I am to let that happen. As for Mom, well, she's a different story. She's got plenty of money now, but that's all she cares about. Every conversation with her turned into a lecture about finances or an attempt to show off her latest expensive purchases. The last time we spoke, it went like this. Did I tell you about the new Mercedes I bought? It's top of the line. Cost more than most people make in a year. Ah, that's nice, Mom. How have you been? How's your health? Oh, I'm fine. Did I mention I'm thinking of buying a vacation home in Florida? I've got a great investment opportunity. Mom, can we talk about something other than money for once? Don't be silly. Money is what's important in life. You should be focusing on building your wealth, not wasting time on frivolous things. You know what? Maybe you can talk to all of your precious money instead of me in your old age. And that was the last time we spoke. I couldn't take it anymore. All she cared about was money and status. She never asked about my life, my happiness, and nothing. Now, I know some people might think I'm being too harsh. They say things like, but they are your parents, you have to take care of them. But I disagree. Just because someone is family doesn't give them the right to treat you badly or take advantage of you. My parents, like a lot of people their age, seem to think that the whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality is the answer to everything. They don't understand that times have changed. The world isn't the same as it was when they were young. Dad still thinks he can just show up at my door and I'll take him in, no questions asked. He doesn't get that I have my own life, my own responsibilities. I can't just drop everything to take care of him because he refused to plan for his future. Mom, on the other hand, thinks her money will solve all her problems. She doesn't realize that when she's old and needs someone to care for her, all that money won't keep her company or show her love. I've made it clear to both of them. I won't be paying for their nursing home, and I won't let them live with me. If they want to stay with me, they'll have to pay me rent just like they made me do when I was 18.